Welcome to Module 3. In this module, we're going to talk about the why bother with self-care and self-compassion. And in this very first video, we are going to we'll listen to Alycia. Alycia, could you describe to us what understanding was crucial to making changes in your own self-compassion and self-care?
Sure. So there were two main areas that helped me change my mindset and make changes for myself. So the first one is learning about how the nervous system works. And then the second one was how important it is to consider whether the support we have in our life is helpful or harmful. So the first one, so nervous system. Initially, my self-care journey started when I committed to losing weight and changing my diet. So it was about 8 years ago, and I did lose 40 pounds before I discovered that I had a very large abdominal cyst. And it had to be laparoscopically removed. And so then so I had surgery, I had to heal, and it interrupted my routine and my progress. But after that healed, I noticed that I was having more obvious pain in my abdomen, and I'd always had digestive issues and anxiety. So I sought help for those things. Um, I went to my family doctor. I went to a naturopath, an osteopath, physiotherapist, pelvic floor physiotherapist, chiropractor, psychotherapist to see what was happening and what each of them could do for me. And I started learning about the nervous system in my own psychotherapy. But before that, I learned about stress in university through a course I took called Life, Health, and Well-being. Um, and the nervous system, so I learned about what it does, how it impacts the body and the mind, and how stress affects the nervous system. And so all of this kind of understanding helped me recognize how important it is for me to take care of myself. So how important my own self-care is. I realized that stress was likely the root cause to a lot of my digestive issues. And when it wasn't the root cause, it was exasperating the problems that I was having. And all of this has helped me understand also why my children are reacting the way that they are. So it helped me change that part of my mindset as well. I came to understand that they have a sensitive nervous system for whatever reason that may be, that is reacting to stress, real or perceived, as if it is life and death. And so the second part to my self-care journey is support. I realized that it was important to consider my support system and really evaluate whether the supportive people in my family's life and my life were high or low quality support. I reflected on whether the people who were there to support us were helpful for the whole family. Um, I realized that quality support is really, really important. And by high quality support, I mean like somebody who's open-minded, willing to be flexible, willing to listen to your concerns, ideas, and solutions with genuine curiosity. People who are there because they want to be there. They want to learn, they want to grow, they want to help in any way that you need it, not in the way that they think is helpful or the way that they think is most convenient for them. So they're really interested in knowing things from your perspective and helping you in the most helpful way that you see. There are also people who you can have a conversation with and build skills together. Um, People who are willing to learn about you and your family, your unique child or children, and your situation, and they really want to truly support you. So that's what I would call high quality support. I also realize how unhelpful or even detrimental it can be to have a lower quality support. And by lower quality support, I mean people who only show up when and how it works for them. They might add to the stress level instead of relieving it. They might do and say things without considering how it affects those around them who need the extra support. They're unwilling to learn and try new things, unwilling to grow with you and your family, people who can't have a conversation with you to address concerns and come up with solutions that work for everyone. Quality relationships are a give and take. They should be mutually beneficial and fulfilling, not one-sided, and you should be able to negotiate and come to an agreement about what's best, even if you disagree. My oldest son was in intensive ABA therapy, or what they called IBI at the time, for about 5 years, and this was our main support system at the time. I had learned about ABA therapy, and although I didn't really like the sounds of it, and it didn't really feel like it aligned with our family, it was the only source of support I was offered and the only thing our funding would cover at the time. I felt like if I could participate as much as possible in therapy, and if I could be there to advocate for my son, that I could prevent any harm. I felt like our team was a safe space to talk to about things that were challenging and that we were being proactive in trying to help build skills and help my son learn to communicate. And at first it seemed okay, but gradually it became harder and harder to have my input considered and to be allowed to be physically present with my son during his therapy sessions. They would say things like, that I was too reinforcing, that he just loved having me there too much, and I was distracting him from his work. So they would have me, not be there for that reason. That's the reason they gave. So challenges would come up, and I would be hesitant to share them with the team because I was really afraid of what kind of programming they would implement and what they would come up with to solve the problem. And over time, I began to reflect, is this really supportive for our whole family? Me and my husband had countless conversations over years about how we could change his therapy and make it better align with our gut feeling. And no matter what I changed and how many meetings I had, it never felt right. One of the main reasons why we kept trying with therapy for so long is because of the support that it offered to me as a parent. It was somewhere where I could go to tell people about what was going on. They could help me make a plan. I felt like I was doing something. Eventually, I realized that although it may have been supportive for me, it really wasn't for my child. Yes, it's true that my son did learn skills throughout his time at therapy, but there are so many things that came along with those skills that have kept him and continue to keep him from enjoying even the simplest of things, that it's just not worth it. There would have been a better way to get those skills without all the byproducts. And so my point in sharing that experience is, if something just doesn't feel right, I would suggest trusting your gut. Just because it seems like something that everyone is telling you to do and that everybody wants, it doesn't mean it is the right thing for you and your family if it just doesn't feel right. I'd say for our situation that zero support would be better than low quality support. Um, we should focus on finding higher quality support system, even if we have to create it from nothing. It takes a lot of energy to do something differently and to go against what we're supposed to do. But our family feels a lot better. This new life without daily therapy sessions gives our son more room to grow. We're really focused on his well-being because we aren't so focused on problem solving and putting out fires to create new ones, to put out new fires. We come up with solutions that are way more in line with our family's values, and this is exactly where I want to be. It's still a struggle sometimes. Sometimes it feels lonely, but it feels a lot better than what we were doing. And we're continuing to build our support system of high quality support people. Um, our skill building now honors our son's autonomy and well-being, and this in turn honors my own well-being. So I feel better too. So it's a whole family solution instead of just me. Um, because as a family, we had made the decision to move on from the support system that we had for 5 years and really our main support system at the time. We did have to try to find a new one that aligned more with our values. So for my own self-care, I set out to reconnect with friends that I truly enjoy spending time with. And I was looking for new connections with people who I could truly enjoy their company and conversation. I wanted to start building a support system of people who were truly there to support me and my family. That also meant that I had to look at some people who were not there to support us in a helpful way and reevaluate whether their presence was helpful or whether it was holding us back. I worked hard on trying to make these relationships work before pulling back. Like I worked really hard. But as I said, relationships are a two-way street. It's give and take. So you do need the other person to participate. I'm not asking anybody to throw everybody away who just doesn't align. You definitely want to try first. But if the other person is just not willing to grow with you, then you want to try to look at reevaluating whether their existence in your life is beneficial or not. Um, I also had to make sure that I was showing that I was open for friendship and support. I couldn't be closed off or not allowing myself to have experiences or take opportunities to get to know others who were interested, who would be potentially high quality support people in my life.
Wow. Thank you, Alicia, for sharing that. It brings up so many feelings and thoughts in myself. And so I want to encourage everyone to go to their journal for this well being month, that journal, and reflect. What are you currently feeling? Do your current actions match your values? Is there anything in your life and your support system that feels like a mismatch? So we'll see you in the next video.